Today's story opens with what appeared to be a perfect marriage, one shaped by love, shared laughter, and years of calm stability. Yet, as you'll soon realize, even the most polished lives can slowly fracture when the heart starts yearning for something it can't name. From the outside, everything about my life looked ideal. I was in my early 30s, married for years, settled into a quiet suburban home, and often told by friends that we were the kind of couple people admired. But behind the smiles and routine dinners, there was a hollow space inside me that I couldn't explain, a feeling that I was living a version of life that no longer felt like my own. That sense of quiet unrest shifted the day my husband's younger relative came to stay with us for a short time after traveling overseas and needing somewhere to pause and gather himself. And I was the one asked to pick him up from the station. A moment I still remember clearly, the way he walked toward me, calm, yet with a gentle confidence and the unmistakable spark of a traveler in his eyes. Something inside me moved in a way it hadn't for years, and during the drive home, he spoke about faraway cities, silent mountains, and the strange beauty of losing yourself only to rediscover who you are. His words touching something deep and forgotten within me. That night at dinner, I caught myself watching him longer than I should have, and every look, every easy smile felt like a quiet secret we were both afraid to acknowledge. As the days passed, that unspoken connection grew softly and steadily, built on small moments, lingering glances, shared laughter that lasted a beat too long each, one sending a spark through me that I could no longer pretend to ignore. I kept telling myself it was innocent, just harmless curiosity, but the truth weighed heavier with each passing day, because I wasn't just intrigued, I was being pulled toward something forbidden, something dangerous, something that made me feel alive again in a way I had almost forgotten was possible. One evening, when my husband was working late, his relative casually suggested we play a simple game in the living room just to pass the time, and although the conversation stayed light, something in the air felt different, heavy with a tension neither of us spoke about. When our hands accidentally touched, the room seemed to freeze, the noise of the outside world fading away. And even though nothing more happened that night, I knew a boundary had already been crossed, one that could never truly be undone. Days slowly blurred into weeks, and what started as passing looks turned into stolen moments, quiet conversations that lingered too long, laughter that would suddenly fall into silence. I tried to resist the feelings growing inside me, but the heart rarely listens to reason, and every time he looked at me, I felt the crushing weight of everything I stood to lose. Yet I still couldn't bring myself to step away. Then came the moment when everything broke apart. My husband found a message, short and seemingly harmless to anyone else, but clear enough for him to sense the truth hiding beneath it. When he confronted me, the room filled with words I will never forget: disbelief, anger, and a heartbreak so raw it left no space to breathe. I tried to explain, but explanations lose all meaning once trust has already shattered. Not long after that, everything shifted, and the man I once believed I wanted became distant. The thrill that once consumed me dissolving into quiet regret. Reality proved far colder than I had imagined, filled with bills, emotional distance, and resentment. And the very thing that once made me feel alive now stood as a painful reminder of everything I had lost. One afternoon, I walked into the house and found him quietly packing his belongings. His voice steady and distant as he looked at me and said, "This was never meant to last." And in that instant, the truth hit me: I had exchanged years of stability for something that was never real. In the weeks that followed, I lost far more than my marriage. I lost the version of myself who once believed happiness could be found by running away. I signed the papers, left behind the home we had built together, and began again in a place that felt unfamiliar and empty. Healing didn't come quickly. It took months of silent mornings and long, lonely nights, but slowly, I started to find my footing again. I learned that temptation doesn't always arrive as something dangerous or obvious. Sometimes it begins with a gentle smile, a quiet spark, and before you realize it, the flame has burned everything in its path. My story isn't about placing blame, it's about how easily you can lose yourself when you stop listening to your inner voice, and how difficult, yet possible, it is to rebuild once the damage is done. If my experience offers any lesson, it's this: love born from guilt can never bring peace. And no matter how painful it may be, the truth is always the only path forward. This is my story, a journey through desire, consequence, and redemption. And while I can't undo what's already happened, I hope that by sharing it, someone listening tonight might pause, reflect, and choose differently before stepping over a line that can never truly be erased.